case there are those of you who are still struggling with the tension and way to hold the yarn that I've been doing it right-handed or English style. So here we go. Are you ready?
Ready.
So if you could explain really slowly and carefully how you, first of all, how you tension your yarn coming from the left hand.
So I watched Caroline's other videos, and there's something that I noticed. When she tensions her yarn in her right hand, she actually tensions it in two spots, one on her finger, and then again between these two fingers as she's throwing.
Correct.
Look at me, I paid attention. When I continental knit, what I do is I tension it actually only in one spot. So I will scoop the yarn. So if it's attached to my knitting here, to the working ball over on this side, I scoop it up with my pinky finger.
From the top to the bottom.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's where I tension it. And the tension is actually between my pinky finger and my ring finger.
Yeah.
That's where I hold all my tension.
And that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Then what I do is I scoop under my middle finger. And this is actually not tension. This is manipulating the yarn.
Okay.
You know how you throw?
Yep.
Well, this is where we pick.
Okay.
So this is where the direction and the movement of the yarn really comes from. So let's do a couple stitches. So again, I'm going to scoop under and around for my tension, and then I'm going to pick it up with my middle finger. My ring finger here is actually going to sit along these stitches, and there's going to move the stitches along the needle as I knit.
Okay.
Let's pick up my needle. Let's do one stitch together. So, as always, left side in through the back, and then I pick with the needle, pull it through, and off it goes. Let's do that again. To the left side, through, and you pick it up with the needle. Oh, see what I did here? I've actually split my yarn, so we're going to pull that out and do that stitch again. So you got to be careful when, especially when you're using sharper needles, that can be a bit of a problem. So in, we pick it and pull it through. Once I start knitting a little faster, what you'll notice is that the needle doesn't do all the work when I pick. I actually use my middle finger to move the yarn so I can pick it faster. So in, and I'll actually move the whole thing with my finger. Do that again. So in, so the finger is moving it towards the needle and the needle's coming in at the same time, so this is faster. Pull it through. And then we can really...
Okay, now can you flip your left hand up so they can see what the yarn looks like on your hand? Where it is.
This?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so it's actually not that. Okay, good.
So instead of coming up between your middle finger and your ring and your index finger like you do, mine comes up in between the other two because I use this finger to move the yarn.
Right. And the other finger holds those stitches on.
Yeah, and moves them along.
Okay.
Another interesting thing that I noticed was that we actually hold our needles differently.
Yes.
You hold your needle like this.
Yes.
And I hold my needle from on top.
Yes. And I know that there are a few others who are watching who do that as well.
Absolutely. And it makes sense because you're theoretically dropping your needle to throw.
Yeah.
This holds your needle in place, whereas...
Yeah.
Sorry. It almost needs to be taller so that I can
I know. Sorry.
That's okay. So you hold your needle like this, and that makes sense because when you throw, you're dropping your needle to throw. Because I don't throw, I just hold the needle.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, do one more stitch in slow motion.
All right. So under, and then we... So the needle moves this way, my finger moves the yarn this way, so we pick it up faster, and off it goes.
Cool.
You know how you use your finger sometimes to push points?
Yes.
I actually do that too. Usually I do this one.
Oh, okay.
Usually I don't need to push the needle out. Mostly, I don't even know why I do it.
Yeah, it's habit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to come off here that's not supposed to come off.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually sure why I do it. It's just a...
It's a security
It's
thing.
a comfort thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's
absolutely
a security
right.
and comfort thing. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, get to the end of the row, and then we're going to flip it over and talk purling.
All right.
That is pretty fast.
Yeah, it's not so bad. See, this is why I complain about purling. Not because purling isn't actually hard this way. It's no harder than any other way. It's just compared to the speed that I knit at, and I'm not a super speedy knitter.
Yeah.
I've seen some continental knitters that are just like kind of scary fast. Compared to the speed that I knit at, my purling is significantly slower, which is why I don't love to purl.
Right. Okay.
Not because it's harder, but
Okay.
because it's significantly slower.
Okay.
All right. So let's do some purling.
Now time to purl.
All right. So as always, bring your yarn to the front, and you're going to tension it the same way. You're going to scoop up and around under the middle finger, but this time the ring finger is actually going, or the index finger, this one,
Okay.
Peter Pointer, is actually going to do more work.
Okay.
Because this one is actually going to hold the yarn down in the front.
Okay.
So you,
oh.
Yeah, I know, funky, huh? So you go in,
Okay.
and then this finger moves it around and down. That first stitch is always hard. Let's do
Okay,
another
so
one.
that's the first one.
Yeah. So you go in, and then you use your...
Okay, you're out of the camera. Sorry. I'm really sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Back up and do it again from the beginning of the row. Since you said the first one was harder, explain why it's harder.
Just because it's a little bit looser.
Okay.
Because you always have that looser stitch at the very end of the row.
Yes. Okay.
So you just have to be a little bit more aware of where your needle's going.
Okay.
And if you notice, if I pull too hard, the stitch actually starts to pull upwards.
Okay.
So you just have to be kind of aware of that.
Okay. All right, so slow motion and explain each step as you go.
Okay. So, yarn in front, and my Peter Pointer is going to hold it down in the front. Go in through the right. I use both fingers to pull it around, and then the pointer finger to pull it down. And then off it goes.
Good. Do a few more.
Sure thing.
Thanks, bud.
No problem. Sorry this isn't as smooth as yours.
Oh, you're doing awesome.
Okay, so in, around, and use the pointer to hold it down. And that's just really giving me that tension that I
Okay.
need so that I could slip it through, and then off it goes.
Perfect.
Let's do one. Notice how much slower this is for me?
Yeah,
So,
I'm glad. It slows you down a little.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get a few more things done. I should give you a project that's got lots of purling.
hey, I already got enough of those. So there you go. Hold the tension down, slip it through, off it goes.
Cool.
In.
I like how it looks with the yarn held from the left.
And there you go.
Awesome. Okay.
Fun times.
Fun times.